Customer acquisition costs are 40 times higher than they were 10 years ago. It doesn't matter what channel you're using, it has become extremely important to turn your once-time visitors into loyal customers. Companies have to engage with the customers in all the channels, and this is what this panel is going to be about, the customer engagement in the omni-channel world. Please allow me to welcome on the stage our panelist, Markus Wuebben, co-founder and managing director at CrossEngage. Safil Andersen, head of consumer and logistics at Celonis. And Christopher Grohmann, online reputation consultant at reputation.com. Okay, before we dig into the topic of omnichannel, I would like to ask all of you to shortly introduce yourself, your company, what you do.
Yeah, welcome. My name is Markus, one of the founders of CrossEngage. We are a SaaS-based customer data platform. For the ones who have not heard about a customer data platform, we're basically a first-party or a DMP for first-party data. We help marketers dig through the huge amounts of customer data that you have in order to create retention and engagement, in order to keep your customers, and to create an omni-channel experience.
Hi, my name is Safil Andersen. I'm leading the retail logistics business for Germany, Switzerland, and Austria. What is Celonis doing? Celonis is providing you the transparency based on big data mining, the transparency of your as-is process. So think about the customer journey where you will be able to visualize actually what is really happening if your customer is having the journey through different channels you are providing.
Hi, I'm Chris, and I'm for reputation.com. And Safir actually mentioned the customer journey. And what we do is we offer large enterprises with many locations managing their touch points where they get reviews, for example, their business listings. And also we help them manage their reviews and aggregate everything in one platform and also to analyze that. And there we see lots of challenges, especially when it comes to restaurants or retailers. And we offer capabilities to solve those.
Thank you very much for the introduction. It has been at least 5 years since we've heard at all the conferences, omnichannel, omnichannel, omnichannel. But are there really some companies who are truly successful in implementing omnichannel strategies? Do you have some good examples?
Well, it's still in its infancy, I would say. Like omnichannel, I would say multi-channel. One of the companies that I actually like is Booking.com. You can still think about, they can still think about the improvement of their content recommendations. But I think that what they're trying to do right now in terms of the app and the emailing and the web integration, it's already quite good. And I see they're orchestrating quite well. But also I see that still a lot of brands are suffering in that topic, and it mainly comes down to the data part, and that's what a lot of brands haven't tackled yet. So it's, in order to create an omnichannel experience, you have to have your data under control. You have to have marketers be able to dig through the data and actually analyze the data and actually make it activate that data. But currently, it's BI and IT holding that data very often. And that's why I don't see a lot of brands doing this really, really good. There are a couple of further companies who actually do this quite well. But again, it's still in its infancy after 5 years.
Yeah, I think if we look where we're coming from a multi-channel content strategy where you feed the different channels where you're engaging with, where you expect your customer to engage with, from the shop side, from the app side, from Facebook and all these areas. I think nowadays it's no longer sufficient to just have a consistent content pushing to different channels. It has to be an integrated, or the customer is expecting from all of us an integrated, nice experience, regardless where and how he's engaging to different channels. And if we think about one nice example, which is Starbucks. Starbucks is having this cool rewards card where you have it physically or digitally. And if you are changing something on your balance or on your profile, it's being multiplied to all different systems you would then be able to. So if you are standing in Starbucks in the line, you're recognizing that you are out of balance, you can easily change your balance. And in the moment you're paying, the system is recognizing the new balance you have your coffee, let's say, paid.
What we see is that the customer mindset has changed. So let's say you're Starbucks and you have 200 Facebook local pages and you also have Google My Business entries, and you have several points where people can actually contact you. They can call you through your phone, they can send you messages, they can send you Facebook messages, they can send you an email, they can even call you. So what people actually expect from you as a company with many touch points, they expect an immediate answer from you. So I think this is a big challenge enterprises with many locations are facing. And people require, this requires like a solution where you can answer immediately and give feedback to that request. So like a ticket system, for example.
Okay, so what can we all do to be more customer-centric? What can we all do to be Starbucks? Why aren't companies that good at omnichannel and at being customer-centric? Is it about the money? Is it about the people?
I think it's the threefold thing. So in order to do really good omnichannel marketing, you have to solve basically three topics, and that is strategy, right? It all starts with the strategy. Like, what is your customer engagement strategy? Do you define how you want to experience, how your customers want to experience your brand across the channels? And also, not all channels are created equal, right? So what is your channel strategy? If I, for example, get a push message that says summer sale starts in 6 weeks, I'm like, yeah. That doesn't, the message doesn't really fit to the channel. And there are a lot of factors that actually determine that. But there's a second thing. The second thing is organization. Like, are companies actually able to do omnichannel experiences? What we see right now is not only data silos, but also organizational silos that work on different channels. And if you don't combine these organizations or change these organizations in order to foster an omnichannel experience, you're never going to get there, right? So you need a collaboration. It might also include new roles like audience managers that are channel independent. And the third thing that we look at is technology. Like, what kind of tools do you actually have to run this? Can you actually connect all your channels to your CRM system, to your engagement system? Are you flexible enough? Can you just nicely add WhatsApp to your stack? Can you not? Can you be flexible? Because channels are also changing quite a bit. They're fast. 2 channels popping up fast. And a lot of tools are either like based on one channel, or they're fixed to a certain number of channels. You're really unflexible. And these are like the three things that we see at CrossEngage that a lot of companies struggle with: strategy, organization, and technology. And on all three levels, you need to make a couple of adjustments to actually get a good experience going.
I totally agree to what you said, and would like to add the question, how do you actually measure your customer experience? So what are you actually doing to measure what the customer is experiencing if he's on your shop, in your store, buying something through the app? Do you measure it? Do you just analyze the ratings on your product or service? How do you measure, and how do you really have the insight and transparency in the way the journey is happening, in the way that the basket is being filled, it is converted into a purchase or not, he's leaving? I think if you make this questions and try to find transparent thing is also important to what you said, that you have also transparency where you currently are and what you would like to be and what are the needed actions to get there.
I think another big topic for omnichannel and to optimize your omnichannel is to understand how you can optimize the visibility of your local pages. So at the end of the day, there's not only search engine optimization, but there's also search engine optimization on a local basis. And for that, let's say I'm looking for a coffee and I'm sitting in my car and I'm asking, hey, Siri, where can I get the next coffee? So there's only one search result that shows up. And in order to show up there, there's actually a couple of things have to be aware of, and some of them are have to be listed, and also the reviews for those topics and those entries need to be appropriate and answered and managed accurately. So this brings me back to the topic of omnichannel management and review management, and also the customer journey, because you need to understand where your customers are and how they start their journey and how you can actually acquire them, and also acquisition and retention plays like a central role here. So in order to improve your entries for that customer journey, you need to be aware of the local search engine optimization factors. And you can look them up in MOZ. I highly recommend that, because that will define on your success and how many requests you will actually get on your local Google My Business entries.
Okay. Do you think that the omnichannel is applicable in all the verticals for all the customer segments, or is it suitable mainly for, I don't know, fashion, something specific?
I think that there are businesses, and that are also app-only businesses, that will naturally converge to push in-app communications that might not, open a brick-and-mortar store. I think it really comes down to the business and where do people and where do the businesses make their business. So I don't think it's like everyone needs to be completely omnichannel. I don't think that's necessary. But for highly engaging brands, you need to be on all channels. That's for sure. It needs to be completely orchestrated. That's for sure as well. It depends also a bit on your market position, of how you want to position yourself, what your product are, why would you, all these factors. But I don't think there is kind of this, everybody needs to go completely omnichannel. I don't believe in that. It really comes down to your business, honestly speaking.
Safil, what do you think?
Yes, I think the retail or the retail specific industries like fashion are at the forefront of this. But I think it will also, through the whole digitalization discussion and the pressure from the changing expectations of customers, it will also be a hot topic for other industries to work on.
Would you say it's also a matter of size of the company, or is omnichannel? Can we make something with the sound? Okay. Would you say that the size of a company is also a factor whether to go for omnichannel strategy or not? Do I have to be big enough?
No, I don't think so. That the size of company is really of importance. I think it is just where you're coming from. Do you have stores? So are you only online? What are the channels you are having engagements with the customers? And this is not a topic of the size of the company.
Chris, do you think there are some specific verticals where omnichannel makes better sense than elsewhere?
I think it really depends on the branch and the kind of sales channel you use, right? So at the end, I think it's important to understand if I have only an online shop, but also brick and mortar. And then if I have brick and mortar, then how can I use my online channels to leverage my visits for my brick and mortar shops? So I think this is a big challenge for omnichannel marketing.
Yeah, I think there are quite a few brands that can actually profit, or verticals that profit from this. I think that even the retailers, right? You can order online and then you kind of pick it up. That's one of the transactional things that can be very very cool. But also a lot of customization. So we have a customer called Mix. They're doing customized furniture, and you kind of can have an online configurator where you can design your own furniture. But still, how does it really look like? And so they have showrooms in Berlin and other cities where you can just go and like kind of feel the quality of the product and the quality of the wood and how it's actually manufactured. And when they come in, they try to identify the customer from their on-site behavior, right? They're asking for it and so forth. And then they can truly create an omnichannel experience. And they even want to go further in terms of VR. And it's like, okay, now we're going to put this chair or this table into your apartment, into your living room. and then it's truly omnichannel. So that there are definitely verticals. It really comes down to like there's also the emotions and engagement that you have with a brand, with the product you're buying from that brand. But on the other hand side, the other side of the universe is the transactional business, and we see that. We also see malls, shopping malls that want to become a lot more omnichannel and more, even more online marketing focused, right? They used to be like very traditional and people would walk into the store, but now they're all asking like, how am I going to identify my customers? How am I going to route traffic? Even soccer clubs, they want to go online in multi-channel, right? Even because also advertisers, they're asking for it. Like, how do I identify my customer across all these channels that we're having? So there's quite a few that truly make sense to run omnichannel campaigns.
But when does it make sense to build the omnichannel strategies and tools in-house, and when should I outsource it? Is there some specific edge? We can start maybe from Christopher.
Well, again, that depends on how you're structured and what your strategy is. So there's obviously approaches to build it in-house. For example, if you're like an online shop, right, then you can try to build your own tools to request reviews for your Trustpilot website, something we recommend. But then again, you will also need a partner to leverage Google Seller Ratings. Who knows Google Seller Ratings? No one, okay. So everybody knows AdWords, right? Yes, okay. So if you use AdWords, you know, it costs lots of money. And you're competing with all the other sellers that are selling their products also and advertising them on AdWords. So in order, and this is a hot tip now, so I would take notes, you can actually leverage the reviews you're gathering, and you should proactively requesting reviews from your happy clients, and you can use those to support your AdWords. So basically you show that you have many, many happy clients and customers, and that actually increases the possibility that people click on your AdWord campaign, and it even lowers the cost for that. So and this is also an important part when it comes to omnichannel strategy. So if you're only an online shop, you can build it yourself. But let's say you're an enterprise and you have, let's say, 200 plus locations, and you're a supermarket like Edeka or Rewe or Kaufland, and then you have so many different touch points. That's probably when you should go outside of your company and search for a solution that supports you.
Okay. Safil, what do you think? In-house or outsource?
I think there is no good answer on this, because you will find, I think, any kind of version of it. It will depend on the size of the company, of the size and the amount of people which are being able to work on this, as well as the budget. And typically you start small, and then it will become larger and larger, and you will become the need for a more enterprise scalable solution. But I would expect that there is it could be, depending really on the size of the company. There's no answer specific to do it this way or that way.
The way we look at it is that basically companies have three chances, three options to go for this. And it's also based on the Walker Sands state of the marketing technology landscape. So you basically have three options. You either build it yourself, buy a cloud, or go best of breed. Best of breed meaning that you're choosing the best tools for every channel and kind of connect that. That's also what we do with the customer data platform. We're a best of breed approach. That is, you have a kind of a brain, and then around that you choose the best tools for every channel. Versus the marketing clouds where everything kind of comes out of the box, and where you build yourself. When you want to build yourself, I can only recommend be really careful. It costs you a lot of money, because you a lot of people that you need to hire with the expertise. It's really difficult. And I can see brands like Amazon and Zalando do this, because Amazon, for sure, they know it's a data business. They want the data, no other tools in-house, that's for sure. But wisely consider that option of building that yourself. I've been in this business for quite a couple of years, and a lot of companies have tried and actually failed to build something like this in-house. And then it really comes down to, do you want to go for best of breed? Do you want to have the best tools across every channel and in every country? Or do you want something out of the box that just works? And to me, that comes down to the strategy that you want to follow. Do you want to have kind of a strategy where you send an email every once in a while and kind of a little bit of a push message here and there? Then, go for the one out of the box tools that, the clouds that do this. But if you want to really create highly engaging campaigns across all the channels, and you want to be really versatile and agile, go for best of breed. And it really doesn't matter on the size of the company, as you said earlier before. It really comes down to your strategy, your organization, and technology. And the earlier they build this up, the better. Right? Especially in terms of organization, right? Right now, who's currently owning the customer? No, I'm targeting this. No, I'm targeting this. And then when you kind of add up all your stuff, you kind of, that's even another topic in this consideration. But you have so many customers in some that you've never seen before. But that comes down to really being sure that you have the best tools that can also use this in an organization that supports this. So best of breed if you really want to go engaging, cloud if you want to be like Matej, and do it yourself only if you really know what you're doing. Use it with caution.
Can I ask a question? So you talked about sending out emails and getting in touch with the clients or people you were in contact with. Maybe can you say something about the timing? How do you specify the timing? When is good timing for you to get in touch again with the client? Yeah. And that would be interesting to know because we also have our theories. So
yeah, cool. Yeah, absolutely. So what we follow is the paradigm of moment marketing. What does moment marketing come down to? It basically comes down to Kahneman, a Nobel Prize winner's peak end rule. What it basically says that in every time we engage with somebody, we have a moment, can be a brand, can be a personal thing, we remember two things. It's either the best or the worst moment and the end. Okay, so when you guys talk about your vacation, you're going to say something, oh, Tegel was really sucky. I was in queue and everything was really, really shitty. But the hotel and my vacation was awesome. If you ask anyone here about the expo tonight, how was it? They will either tell you the best or the worst moment and how it ended. Right? That was this super nice talk or this super boring panel that I saw. But at the end, the coffee, well, there was something really cool at the end of the show. That's how consumers and people in general are thinking and memorizing moments. It's been proven. It's psychology, right? And this is how we are sending our campaigns based on these moments. And these moments have the length of the moments is not specified. It's more like an episode in your life. It can be like my day yesterday, but it can be really a short encounter here on the panel. Right? The worst moment being you, Markus, speaking here and talking some nonsense, but at the end, you saved that. Right? You saved the panel. That's always how we think about moments. Like everybody can challenge themselves. You can ask people about certain moments. They would say the best or the last and the end. And then you basically come down to four shapes, right? You messed it up in the beginning, but save that. That's also the service recovery paradigm, right? People that have had a bad service encounter, if you recover them, they're going to be super loyal. We know that they're significantly more loyal than anyone else. Or you keep people, and so forth, right? So it really, there's no, it's not a millisecond, it's not an hour, but it's more an episode in the engagement. And that's what we marketers can define.
So, okay. So let's say I order something from your online shop, right? And when do you think would be the best timing to contact me again and to ask for feedback?
It depends on what your pattern is and what your channel preferences are. So it depends on what kind of channel would I be contacting you. Then I would be looking at your behavior beforehand, and it's really an optimization. So we know this with abandoned cart campaigns, right? There was the saying like, hey, 25 minutes after abandoned cart, you should be sending this. It's total nonsense. A lot of checkout processes take a lot more time, and all these companies that run these abandoned cart campaigns, they're kind of cashing in. because they'll send you something when the consumer or when you guys are still in the checkout process. So, and the answer is, it's really split. It depends on the consumer, and you need to find that out and optimize on top of this. There is not this is 20 minutes and it's kind of the right thing, but it really depends on the consumer and how they're responding. It's also when you order this stuff, right? I mean, like, if I order something really in the morning and I'm guiding to, hurry to work, I always get a blade, but just kind of get it done, I'll probably be open for more messages in the evening. And there's more like this, it's a very complex, let's say, optimization process that goes there.
Okay, Safil, we were talking about the importance of measuring the customer journey. What are some of the key metrics online retailers should focus on?
I mean, the key metrics are the key metrics you would define yourself, you would like to understand and to measure. And I mean, it starts where's the prospect coming from? What is he doing? I mean, you could dig it down into the way you would like to understand how is your product being. How is being exposed in the way, what is being visited in terms of images or videos, how is the checkout process happening, is there any interaction with someone, a chatbot or someone in personal? You can set it up in the way you would like to have it to really gain transparency on where is what happening and why, and then try to increase your customer journey experience.
Do you guys have some important metrics in mind we should all focus on in order to succeed in the omnichannel world?
Yeah, for me it's two metrics basically. It's CLV, so the customer lifetime value, like whatever that's for the business side, right? It's actually worth what I'm doing or not, and how does it add to my CLV? And the other thing for me is engagement. So the way we think about running campaigns is I should only be sending a campaign if the likelihood that the customer I send it to is going to engage more or not, right? If it has an increase in engagement, I'll send it. If it has a negative customer engagement as a consequence, I will not send that, right? So it's always the increase in customer engagement that you're getting and that you should be measuring, because that means what you're sending hits the right nerve on the customer, right? But you need this duality, right? We can do this quite nicely for all the customers, but then what comes out of it? So that's what the CLV metric is for. But we ultimately always look at, is this message that we're going to send, does it increase the likelihood of a customer engaging more with the brand? That's the ultimate measure for us.
For us, the central measure is Net Promoter Score. Likability that people would actually promote you or not, and if you don't perform well, then you know where to improve. But also, I think what's also important is the request rate. So how many requests you actually get answered. So if you send out a request to get a review or feedback for your service or the product you got delivered, how many people are actually answering? Right? So this is a very important KPI that also shows you where you need to improve. So maybe it needs to be more personalized, right? So, or the timing is wrong. So you need to find a better timing. So what we found is normally it's best to send a request for feedback right after the event actually happened. So either the person received its package, right? Or a service process has been closed. Let's say you go to a BMW dealer and you get your tires changed, right? And then right after, we have done a good job. It's important that I use your emotional state, you're happy, it's fixed, and then that's the right moment to ask you for feedback. Because then the likability that you actually promote, that the net promotion, NPS is high, is higher.
So let's see when the organizers send feedback form today, or tomorrow, or ever. We are running out of time. I would like some final words from you. What should the people who typically run some online business, what should they take home in the terms of omnichannel? Some, I don't know, call to action or...
Yeah, final words. I mean, I could talk forever about this, but understand your who, and that's most important. And I think the biggest issue in online channel is that we don't have the data under control, that we don't really understand the who, because all the effort that we build into content personalization, if I'm sending the wrong the wrong content to a customer, then all these efforts that we're doing in content personalization is wasted. So before you do all these efforts in content personalization, try to understand the who, and make sure you do this based on data, and that will foster your omnichannel experience and your capabilities by far, and then everything else is on top. But understand the who.
Yes, I totally agree. I think the who is extremely important, and I would like to add 2 points. The one thing is to really make it an integrated experience throughout all channels, that there's a really a nice integrated omni-channel experience for your customers if they engage with you. And the other side is if you are really digging down to who, I think you should also really understand what is happening and why it's happening. If something is happening which is being positive or negative in both ways, why is something happening positive? Why is the customer is always rebuying on the other side, and on the other side, why is the rebuying rate is going down, so that you really have also the understanding why is something happening and where.
Okay, just to finish, I would like to add where, right? So you really should understand where your customers are. You should understand where your touch points are. And then you should be aware of the local search engine factors, optimize for those factors, and then publish your positive feedback, because that's where the customer journey of potential new clients starts. They will see the reviews, they will see the feedback, and that's where the decision is made, and they will decide to visit you instead of your competition.
Okay, guys, thank you very much for your time and for your answers. This was Markus, Safil, and Christopher.